In preparation for the Roadhouse remake, I watched the original for the first time and found it to be another movie with an interesting idea that gets bogged down by a lackluster finale. This actually made me excited for the remake, because I thought that it could possibly fix the issues I had with the original while still keeping the basic ideas the original had. So you can see why I was very surprised that my feelings for the Roadhouse remake are almost identical to the original. Where the original had a cool starting premise with a lackluster finale, the remake also has a cool premise with a lackluster finale. The only massive difference in the two movies is the settings and the backstory of Dalton, which are both drastically different. Allow me to dissect the two films as we discuss Roadhouse 2024. The film follows Elwood Dalton, played by Jake Gyllenhaal, who's an ex-UFC fighter and now just wanders from place to place looking for easy ways to make cash. Dalton is approached by a woman from Florida who offers him a job at her family's roadhouse in the Keys, which is creatively named The Roadhouse. Only the most creative minds at Amazon. Dalton reluctantly accepts the invitation and is now trying to clean the roadhouse of anyone who decides to get a little rough. However, in doing this, Dalton gets caught up in a situation that's more than he originally bargained for, and it's up to him to defend the roadhouse and figure out what's really going on. One major point I'd like to touch on first is the new setting, which is both a major pro and con for the movie. The original was set in a small town in Missouri, which was run down and decrepit looking, which made sense as to why Dalton was called to clean it up in the first place. The remake, on the other hand, has its setting on the Florida Keys, with beautiful sandy beaches and atmosphere. As a sucker for anything set at a beach, I far prefer the setting of the remake, but you can see how the new setting isn't as impactful to the story as the original. But chances are, if you set your movie at a beach, you automatically gain bonus points from me. And this movie is covered head to toe in the beach aesthetic. The acting all around is high quality, though Jake Gyllenhaal was never going to be as cool as Patrick Swayze was in the original. This movie also features slick action that's entertaining and easy to watch with limited instances of shaky cam, and a handful of interesting cinematography. The first hour and a half of this movie is great. It features what made the original special, plus the added bonus of its improved setting. But then the last 30 minutes happen. For some reason, the last 30 minutes of this movie feel super rushed. The quality of writing takes a severe nosedive, the action lacks any of the slickness the first part had, and overall the movie began to bore me right at the finish line. Another issue I have with this film is the feeling that this probably could have been its own original thing. The only character from the original that shows up is Dalton, and he's basically a completely different character. This movie feels like a cool idea for an original movie that they just slapped the name of an old IP onto to get more eyes on it, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but this movie doesn't really offer anything to fans of the original. What's funny about all of this is, if you change some select words, this review you're listening to right now could easily be used as a review of the original, which is the main thing I'm still hung up about. This movie feels like they looked at the original and changed certain things, but not the things that bogged the original down, which leads to this movie having similar issues in terms of its enjoyment value. In summary, Roadhouse is a remake of a movie that I personally feel could have actually used a remake, but one that doesn't improve where the original failed, and therefore continued to follow in the footsteps of the original in all the wrong ways. The changes the film does make are seemingly random and don't add anything to the movie. I still think it's an okay movie, but after watching the original, I was kinda hoping for something more. That's all I got for now. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and hit that bell icon to be notified whenever I make a new video. The next movie review should be Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire, but I also talk about TV shows and video games on this channel. So if you're interested in that, or interested in supporting the channel more, then go check out those videos. Okay, that's it. Bye.